Good Monday morning. Welcome to Porch Talk with Cheryl. I just thought I would do a talk today on just loving yourself and realizing how unique and special each one of us are. And as we get ready to go out for a new week into the world, just some things to help you center and focus so that you realize what a special person you are. And I hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. I had a great friend, Melissa, come and spend the weekend with me. It was good sisterhood. I love that. And then I went to one of my child's 31st birthday party. Yay, Siobhan. Love you. Super wonderful child. And all of us were able to get together, and my grandchildren were there, and it was really fun. So blessed weekend. But I wanted to start this off, and today is an overcast day, which I love because I'm a little late today because I didn't get home late till last night, but it's a little overcast. I love that because I'm later than usual, and the sun normally would be right in my face. So thank you, universe. So I just want to, like I say, do talk on just how special each of us are, and sometimes we forget that, and sometimes the world makes us think we aren't, and the world wants us to think that everybody's the same, and just blend in, and life is not about blending in. It's really truly not. Sometimes we have difficulties, but it's about, I think, really understanding where you come from, who you are. And I have a question. Did you start your day off right? Before you put your feet on the ground, did you say thank you, God, Lord Jesus, universe, for another great day for me to have to open my eyes and breathe and commit myself to serving others and being kind, and yes, going to work and doing your job, but thank you for letting me be here one more day. Thank you for that gift. I think that's very important. Before you turn the news on, I would not even recommend watching the news. I stopped watching the news 3 weeks ago. Best decision I ever made. Truly the best decision I ever made. And I was very involved in it. And I was talking to my son and my daughter, and they were so happy that I stopped, being obsessed, maybe even, I would say, addicted to watching the news, because it's just full of catastrophe. But that's a different subject altogether. But, don't start your day off with catastrophe. Wake up and realize that nobody is like me. God made you special. He made us all special. And God don't make junk. Just remember that. And I tell people that all the time. You know what? Life seems difficult at times. But those are our learning fields, our lessons that we need to learn. But nobody else is like you. You're a one of a kind. So when you purchase something, it's like my necklaces. I make these, I use a mold. I make them in the heart shape, but each one comes out different. Look at this. I put a different color in it, but they're all different. They all have, and I give them a different style, but they are the same, but they're all very different and unique, and that's what I love about these. And by the way, I will be selling these. I'm making them right now, and I say that every day. I wear these because they remind me to love me, and they also remind me to love everybody else, and that the world is made of love, and that's how we should operate. And I think another great thing is in this card I love, and it says, whoop, "You are awesome just the way you are." Now, not to say that we can't use a tune-up, all right? That's for real. But, you know, we're all individuals and we all have awesome qualities. And the world is going to make you think that you're not awesome, that you're just meh, No, we're all unique divine beings, and we're all in this soup together. And but there's competition, and there's every society seems to want homogenization. In other words, all of us to be the same. And there's not. There's going to be people who are really shiny, and there's going to be people who don't want to shine. But everybody is awesome just the way they are. It's a good starting ground. And then you can examine, what do I need to do different? What do I need to learn? Things like that. But we are all awesome. One of a kinders. That's saying something. And I love this. You are beautiful just the way you are. So we all look different. We all have different body compositions. We're all different, but we're all beautiful. We're made in the image of God, and which makes us all, it makes us all unique, and it makes us one of a kind. But we're all beautiful. And for the world to look at somebody like me, 65 years old, and the world might say, well, you're old now. So what? Who cares what you say? Who cares? Because I am no longer the 20, 30, 40-year-old youthful person. I'm still very youthful for my age, super youthful for my age. And anybody who knows me knows that I am not your typical 65-year-old, if there is such a thing. I'm very young in the mind, and I choose to stay very relevant in the world. Not part of the world, but I choose to be a relevant part by doing videos, by making jewelry, by, helping people reach their goals. 65, I retired. You could sit back and say, well, I've worked really hard and this is all done. But no, you know what? It's kind of like the work really begins. Because then you get to examine, what can I do? My kids are gone. My kids are grown. Got grandkids. I got a great grandchild coming up soon. But it's kind of a time to say, I'm going to focus on me, because you do lose yourself in life along the way. It's just staying so busy. And it's the grind. I call it the grind, with work, with family. But it's a season. It's a season of life. But you can lose yourself along the way. But don't let the world tell you that you're not beautiful because you're not youthful, or because you don't look a certain way, or you don't weigh a certain amount, or your body doesn't look a certain way. We're all beautiful. And you know what? This outward shell, is, yes, some of us are blessed with this or with that or with that, but beauty really should be light that beams out from your soul and from your heart. And as you get older and your youth fades, you're still beautiful, but the beauty within should be coming out. That should always be happening with us. But when we're young, we still have an ear to the world, and our headspace, we're still listening to the world telling us we got to weigh a certain amount, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to wear certain clothes, we got to look a certain way. So to fit in with the beautiful people. Not true. You can make your own beauty. I'm a beautician for many, many years, and I just do my thing. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody. But you know what? We're all beautiful. And I love this one too, that says, I'm beautiful just the way that I am. Beauty, like I said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and beauty, there are many forms of beauty. It doesn't have to be outward beauty. It doesn't have to be, like say, being one of the beautiful people. Beauty can just be, a joyous soul who wakes up in the morning and says, thank you, God, I'm here. Thank you for, giving me another day to breathe. And what great thing am I going to do today? And we should all be doing that in the morning. We shouldn't wake up and go, oh God, it's Monday. Holy cow, here I go. And you get it should not be pick your phone up, go through your messages, listening to the news. It shouldn't be drudgery or catastrophic or consuming catastrophic things, because those things will consume you and your beauty, and you'll feel tired before you even leave the house. Don't do that to yourself. And I love this one too. I'm actually writing a book, and it's called Born to be a Unicorn, and it's a story about a little girl who was me. I was a bright and shiny soul, and everybody saw that in me, and a lot of people abused me. Um, for no sorrow do I say this, but I always felt like a unicorn. I always did. I always felt special, and I always felt set aside. And I am, and we all are. But I always felt like extra protection was around me because I had something great to do in my life. I was lost. I didn't know what it was for many years. But it says, be a unicorn in the field of horses. I love that. I love that. Because you know what? Again, I say that the world wants us to all be homogenous. Homogenous means the same. And I don't think that people are meant to be the same. If that was so, why did God create us all differently? You know, it just doesn't make any sense at all. But I choose to be that unicorn in a field of horses. Some people, it's just like with success. If you hang out with people who are unsuccessful, guess what? You are not going to be driven, focused, use your personal power and your intellect to move you past that. People don't like you being a unicorn, because remember, when you are a powerful soul and you say, hey, I'm a unicorn, I'm a powerful soul, I can do this, I can do that, and you choose to grow, you grow away from them. People don't like that. They want to seat you next to them so that you will be just like them, and so that you don't maybe make them examine, well, why haven't I done something with my life? Why am I just, floating here in life? But that's all a choice. And choosing to be a unicorn is a choice, and it's a very, shiny thing, if I can say that. But it's a choice. And I'm very comfortable being who I am. I'm a very exuberant personality, and I am always happy. I'm always, I love people. I love talking to people, and I love helping people too. It's very important to me. And I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to sneeze. Sorry. Real TV. I'm not editing it out. No scripts. No, nothing. And this, I love this. It says, you are a perfect sunflower. We're all beautiful in our own way. We're all beautiful in our own way. You can be a unicorn. You can be a flower. You can be, every one of us has a superpower. And sometimes finding that superpower is a little bit hard, but it's worth it. But, we're all special. We're all special. And it says, you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. None of us are perfect. Remember that. Remember that. People say, oh, I have to wait to look like this to do that. Or I have to wait until things are just right to do that. No, you don't. You can still be amazing right where you are every day. Every one of us has the ability to shine our light and to be amazing. Excuse me, I'm having a drink of water. So don't wait. Don't wait to be amazing, because being amazing, it's here right now. You can do it. You can do it. And it says, you are a gift you are a gift to those around you. Without you realizing it, and you go to work and you do whatever you do, every one of us is a gift. Now, if you go to work and you're sour, or you're, things are challenging for you, and you maybe have a bad attitude for the day, you're still a gift, But think about what your day is like when you go in and you smile. Hey, how are you doing? How's everything? Happy Monday. You know, and I have something else I want to show you too. So I also have these cards and I love them because I give these out to people that I love. I gave a card to a waitress the other day that said, "You're amazing." And I wrote on the back of the card, I said, "Thank you for your great service." We had a very great spiritual talk. What a great girl. Sid down at Seagulls. Love her. Go see her. She is wonderful. And she's a special soul, you can tell. But I gave her that card and I said, please put it somewhere so that you'll always remember it. And so, I have stuff like, thank you for being amazing. I admire your strength and your courage. Your enthusiasm is infectious. I appreciate you. I have other ones about birthdays. Keep it up. So when you see somebody who's done a good job and you have one of these great cards, you can just write a note on it and it's really something special for them. Or if somebody you see they're having a down day, grab one of these cards and write one to them. And I always carry little note cards with me too. And sometimes I'll just tuck a note in there and say, you're amazing. I love you. And, I just write them something sweet. And you would be amazed at just what a little note like that, maybe with a little piece of candy, maybe, who knows, but something that shows them that somebody cares is a powerful, powerful thing. But I do have these also as well. They are on order. And I have 3 packs, yay, they're 50 a pack of these cards that I use in my talks. And they're wonderful. They're wonderful. I keep these in my wallet at all times. And I told you the story about meeting a very special friend of mine. He was walking past a restaurant, Seagulls, that I go to all the time. And he was walking past the restaurant. I didn't even look at him. It was on the back of his shirt that I saw that said, be your own, no, not be your own kind of beauty. I'm sorry, wrong card. Sorry. It was, let all you do be done in love. And he had that on the back of his shirt. And I said, hey, I love your shirt. And he turned around and he said, thank you. And I said, where'd you get it at? And he said, it was a gift from somebody. And I said, what a beautiful saying. And he came over and we started talking. I introduced myself and I said, well, sit down and have lunch. And we did, and we talked for 2.5 hours, and we're good friends now. He's wonderful, wonderful person full of so much soul. But I keep that one, and then I put, then I have the confidence to be myself. Yes, and then be your own kind of beauty. I have those, and I put these in my wallet. I always carry this. That's always on me. And when I met this person and I pulled this card out of my wallet and he said, wow, he said, I guess the universe or God just meant for us to meet. He said it was divine intervention, which I believe. But I always keep this one in my wallet no matter what. And then I change, different sayings out just according to what's going on for my week. So those are very powerful because when you're in a situation, you're not having a good day, you can pull those cards out and you can read them and you can say, okay, yeah, I'm going to go in that direction. But so those are really wonderful things. I don't have these for sale just yet. I'm trying to get compile a stash of them to sell. But so I do have them. But I have the Christian and motivational ones too, and then I have ones that they're cards that you can give to people, but they also have motivational sayings in them, and I love those. They're a treasure for me. But I always try to have at least 5 cards for different situations in my wallet, and I give them to people randomly, and I just love that. People are like, for me, like they're surprised that you're doing something for them. Smiling, having a good attitude, loving people, and then if you can do something special for somebody, you don't know what that person's day is like. You don't know what they're going through personally. So, it's a way to say, I care about you. you know? And we live in a world where we just pass each other. We don't even smile. We don't say nothing. Tragic. Think about all the opportunities to show your love and to show, people that you care about them and that we're all in it together. No matter how hard it is, we're all in it together. And we can support each other. Just like when you're in group therapy or, my bestie coming over and us hanging out, we support each other. We both have issues we're going through. We do. I have issues I'm going through. And you know what? We talk and we sound, we bounce ideas off to each other, and we're both Christian spiritual people, so we pray and we look for positive ways to deal with situations. And having good friends like that they're invaluable. Listening to the outside world tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that. Or if you have friends who aren't on the same kind of spiritual level as you, they'll give you some weird advice sometimes, and you have to discern who the people that you trust are. I love Melissa and my friend Tamika, and I now have my great friend Giovanni. I love him. He gives such insightful, just a treasure trove full of just wonderfulness. I just don't even know how to say that. I'm going to have him maybe on one day, or I don't know if he's shy, so I don't know if he'll do it, but I would love to have him on. He's a magnificent person who's been through so much in his life, and just would be a good person to do a porch talk with. But I have another card, and so I love this that says, I am here for a reason. So we all have a purpose. When we're born, we don't know what that purpose is, and we go through life. I believe God writes and it gives us gifts before we come to the world, and then whispers in our ears what they are, but we don't remember it. But we know what it is. We know there's something there. So as you go, you find your gifts along the way. Most people have more than one gift. Most people, it's sad, and they say, I don't know what I'm here for. I said, you're here to love other people. I know you're struggling, but you're here to love other people. And you're here, you can be the example of somebody who pulled themselves out of a difficult situation and became more. I did that. I lived my life in darkness for so many years. I depended on the way the outside looked, because my mother told me all I had to ever do was just be beautiful and I would be taken care of. To a certain degree, she was right, but you're used, you're abused. People don't ever see anything past the beautiful face and the beautiful body. And then when you get older, everything changes, or your spirit changes, then you're not prepared mentally to, and then you lose, you go, why am I here? Why I'm in the world stamped shoes old and says, get out, No, it's not that way. It can be that way if you haven't taken the time, to find your reason, to find your why, to find your purpose. I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background. Some people are doing construction. I'll come a little closer, so maybe, it's too close. But just so that we can, so that you can hear me a little better. And I love this one that says, try to be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud, by the great Maya Angelou. I love her. So, just what we were talking about. Somebody's having a bad day. They had a bad weekend. They're in a breakup. I met a man, my friend and I, we went to Siegel's and had dinner, and they had like a little open lounge in the back. And that's where all the local yokels go. And so we went and had a glass of wine, and there was a man sitting at the end of the bar. And he just looked so sour, and he was just so blocked in and so tight, right? So we ended up having to stand by him. It was very crowded that night. And I told him, I said, I'm so sorry for encroaching in on your space, but there's no place else for us to stand. And so we started just talking, and he was a very sad man. And I said, well, what's going on? And he told me that he had lost his wife and his daughter, both within 6 months. Very sad. And he just showed me pictures of his wife and his daughter. their grave sites, and he was still in such heavy mourning. But using alcohol to mask his feelings, because sorrow sometimes, especially, oh my God, you lose the person that you love, and then your child too within 6 months. Terrible, sad thing. And this man sat there, and he didn't want me to see it, but he was weeping, and I just realized I don't have anything too terrible in my life to deal with right now. How grateful I am. I just rubbed this man's back and I said, you know what? God loves you and it'll be okay. And me and my friend will pray for you. And he said thank you. And he was there for a good long while and drank several more, beers or whatever he was drinking then. But he just sat there, and we found a seat kind of on the other side of the bar, and he just stared at us, and he just saw how happy we were, I think, and he just, and I would point at him, and he'd smile a little bit, but I just felt such sorrow come from his soul, and and so I was able, even if it was just for a little bit, maybe able to be a little bit of a rainbow for him, I hope. Yeah. And so again, you never know what people are going through. You don't know. Sometimes they just need a little hug or a little rub on the back, a pat on the back, just to say I care and you're not alone in this world. And we can be a rainbow everywhere we go. We can. And I always tell everybody when they meet me, I am not a one-dimensional person. I will go up to strangers. I will talk to them. I want to know about people's lives. I want to know what happened. I want to know it. I'm super curious about that. And I've had some people reject the idea of talking about anything, maybe because they're not ready or whatever. But usually you can pick out the souls that are open enough to say, yeah, this happened or that happened, or if somebody's super successful, hey, what do you do? I try to be a rainbow in everybody's life, everyone. And I try to be kind and smile and, just be something special for them. And then one of my favorite sayings is kindness. Kindness changes everything. Everything. If you're sour, you walk past somebody, scowly, people will avoid you. They'll step around you. But if you're that happy person, I go to the park in St. Mary's all the time, and a beautiful park right on the river, and you sit there, they got swings, and people walk by with their dogs. I usually bring my little doggie, and you would be surprised how many people, number one, if you have a dog, they'll come up and talk to you that normally would just walk by you, and I love that. I love that people are very connected through animal souls. I think that is something amazing. But But I always say hi to everybody. How's your evening? How are you doing? Beautiful night. What a lovely sunset. What a gorgeous day, and just take an opportunity to connect, even if it's just for that long. And some people want to connect, and some people are just like, yeah, okay. And they keep walking by. But I am that person. I'll tell everybody, hey, how are you doing? Blah, blah. That's just me, because I want to shine my light. I want to share it. I am so full of joy, and I'm so full of gratitude, and I'm so thankful that I get to live the life that I do. And then I'm to a point where I'm very spiritually connected to myself and to God and the universe and Jesus and everybody else. And that, I think that, through these videos, I hope that you love them. And if you do, I need you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm a new channel, and I love doing this because it's my way of giving back all of the things that I learned in life, and to help people. I want to give my lessons to you, and to help people realize there's a bright path forward if you choose it, right? And so in all things that I say, I bless you, and I pray that you have a good Monday, and I pray you have a good week, and look forward to each day being a new day You have a new page. You have a new canvas that you can paint your story, that you can write your story. Nobody can do that except for you. If you don't do it, the world will write it, or somebody else may paint it. You may not like what you see. You be the creator. You are beautiful just the way you are. And I love you. And I say all these things in love. And I hope that you will join me tomorrow on Porch Talk for a new talk. I love y'all. Have a good Monday. Bye.